Hey everyone, before this video gets started, if you're an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, really any major gig economy worker, and you want to get paid for benefits, sick time, and a whole bunch of other stuff, then click the link below to sign up for Cover. Cover is an incredible service that's basically being the missing link for Uber drivers and Lyft drivers that we've been looking for a super long time. If you get into an accident, or you get hospitalized, God forbid, or just you need a sick day, Cover will actually replace 80% of that income. So click the link down below and get 30 days free on us right now. Now let's get started on this video. What's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name is Greg. What I'm talking to you guys today about is when to do surge chasing and when not to. There is definitely a time and a place to really go after a surge, but there's a lot of scenarios where you just are not going to want to. So we're going to do that. Let's jump into this video. So surge chasing is a really interesting topic. And to kick off the video, I'm going to say that in most cases, you're probably going to want to not surge chase. So here's the times that I will generally do it. My kind of rule of thumb I made up in my head, and I'm not sure where I even got this, but it seems to work, is that if a ride is more than 8 minutes away, and a surge I'm probably not going to go after it. The reason being is that surges fizzle out super quick. A lot of times they're gone within a few minutes. Probably 10 minutes is like the average before one starts to fade or at least decrease a good bit. So you want to really hit that sweet spot with them. I will almost indefinitely go after it if it's under 8 minutes away, as long as it's a decent one. I will rarely chase a $3 surge unless it's like I can make one turn and go a few hundred feet and be in it. But I don't really get too interested in surges until it's like a 450. A 450 and up, I start really wanting to give it a shot and, adding it up in my head, the distance, or putting it in my GPS to see what it would take for me to get over there. So what are some scenarios where you do want to surge chase? So the ones you're really going to want to chase, almost no matter what the distance are ones that you won't phase out. So 2 a.m. when bars let out, that from 150 usually to 2:15, you have a pretty consistent surge. And a lot of times it's getting to the peak of it at the end of 20 minutes. So in those scenarios, if you've been out in this area long enough in your market and you're wow, okay, literally surges there every weekend. Maybe it's a collection of bars, restaurants, whatever, but you just know that's an area. You want to risk those. Concerts, NFL games, MLB games that are big. Obviously, NBA and MLB, you want to be careful because they play so many games in a season that they're not always going to create a real sizable surge. But NFL games and concerts will create a really nice surge. I don't always recommend chasing these surges at all. It depends on your market, because if you live in a city where it takes you an hour just to pick someone up to get out of there, even if it's a $20 surge, that a lot of times won't end up being worth it. Because think about it. You want to make $20 an hour. Well, if you make $36 off of the ride, let's say it was $16 with a 20 surge, $36, but it takes you an hour to do it and then a half hour to drop them off once you're out of the concert venue. And I'm not BSing with that number. I've had a lot of concerts where it takes me over 45 minutes just to exit, just to get a mile away from the concert venue because there'll be so much traffic. So if it's going to be a scenario like that, you really got to weigh out in your head if it's actually worth it. Because if you make $36 in 2 hours, we'll just say an hour and a half, that's pretty good, but is it really worth it? Was it really worth it? So a quick tip, a lot of times what I do during concerts is those are going to bring out every driver and their mother. So a lot of times I'll go to the airport because I'll usually get crazy surging during concerts because there's so many drivers all waiting outside the venue. Or I go to another area that's prone to surging and I'll usually get a really good surge ride on Uber because, all the drivers are going, they've been getting emails the last few days about, hey, huge earnings on Saturday and then every driver's out for it. That is like one quick tip for how to kind of combat those times. But there are ways to do concerts and football games. For me, I usually try to have a destination trip that will like take me around it, or if there's a highway that like kind of goes around it but still through it a good bit, I'll do that, and then I'll stay off of it and I'll get as far away from it as I can then with a decently sized surge. So a lot of chasing surges is like you've got to really understand your market, really understand the areas that are surging and like how that's going to impact you. But yeah, you've got to weigh out. If you're going to have to wait 40 plus minutes, you've really got to weigh out if that's a good ride. So the only ones that are worth chasing are the ones that are under 8 minutes. And like I said, for really a $4.50 or more, I mean, a $3 tip is pretty common. So like, that's why I won't really chase a $3 surge at all or below, because I know that odds are I can get a tip for $1 to $3 by being just an awesome driver, you know? So like, I'm not going to like not take rides for 10 minutes while I run down a $3 surge. But $4.50 is where I start thinking, because now, I mean, you're basically at $5, and that's not a tip you get like super commonly. So I'm starting to think, hey, this is making out better more than likely than what I would have gotten tipped. It's almost like a big odds game for me. And so once it's $4.50 or up, I start getting interested, but I won't go like too crazy for a $4.50 to $5.50. $6 is where I'm like, more than likely, if I can make it, I'm going to be there. Like if it's only 9 minutes away and it's a $6 surge, I'll probably take that risk. However, I won't necessarily decline rides on the way. Now, here's why Uber Gold Rewards are so important, because in times like this where like when you're having these internal debates, like let's say, okay, I'm going to give you guys like a good example. So let's say you've got to chase down you've got to drive 12 minutes to chase down a $6 surge. That's pretty good odds, you know, because you're thinking that's like low risk, high reward. You know, there's a good chance that it'll last for 10 to 12 minutes. You know, it might drop to 5. And even then, that's not the end of the world. But let's say you're 6 minutes away and then you get a ride request. Let's say it's going 5 minutes south. Obviously, you're probably not going to do that because you want to get a $6 surge. So you cancel that one. Now, what would you do in this scenario if you were 3 minutes away and your Uber Gold Rewards tells you you got a 35-minute ride, but you're not in the surge? Would you take the 35-minute ride, or would you try and chase down the like few minutes you have left on the $6 surge? See, here's what's interesting about me is I'll take the long distance ride, because I know that I'm guaranteed a good fare. I know that I'm going to make $20+ in that hour from that ride, whereas I don't really know that with the $6 surge, because I could get, let's say I get in it and it drops to $5.50. I get in it and let's say in 2 more minutes it's completely gone. So I've got a $5.50 surge. Because the surge is completely gone, I have to take whatever ride is coming my way. So what if I get a 5-minute ride and it's like a $3 fare with 6? Well, I made $9, but I also drove 12 minutes originally for that $6 surge. If I would have just taken the long distance ride, I had the guaranteed good surge ride. You see what I'm saying? So you got to kind of map it out in your head, especially if you have Uber Gold Rewards. You can take a few more risks and you can decide if it's going to be a good idea for you to go after it or not. I will say this, if it's $10 or higher, I'm taking some risks. A lot of times even $8 or $9 or higher. The reason being is once you get into those higher amounts, if by chance you get a long distance ride, you're going to make a lot of money. And what some of my better like random days, like it'll be a random Thursday, it'll be like I happened to get in a $7 surge that was like an hour-long ride, and I'll make like massive money on that one ride on a Thursday, on a day where I probably shouldn't have. So we'll say $8 or plus, you want to start maybe taking some risks. But it really is a tough say, because you can throw off your hourly rate if it doesn't end up panning out for you. You can get all the way over there and then it fizzles out and you ended up with a $2 surge. I've done that numerous times where I was chasing down a big one and then it phased out. I ended up with $3 and it went 15 minutes away and I wasted 20 minutes getting over there. So that's what I'm saying. In most cases, you're not going to want to risk it unless you're under 8 minutes, because that's like a good healthy estimate of being able to make it. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. I will be busting out a lot more content for you guys. Crush it out there, and I will talk to you guys soon.